man's action on tax bill. No one goes on vacation until it's done. Don't tell me it landed perfect. Oh no, nah, a little bit overshot, little overshot. We're gonna take that right there. There we go. Uh-oh, we in the building now, y'all. Hell yeah, it's July the 1st. I know, no, 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 no. I know, no, 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 no. We got to get ready for this guy right here. What's good, Batty? How you doing there? All right, give me 1 second here. Chat ain't opened up yet. Oh, I see the chat now. Now maybe it's time. Bling, bling, bling. Bling, bling, bling. Bling, bling, bling. Anytime you're ready, like bling, bling, bling. Whenever he's ready. Bling, bling, bling. One more time. Uh. And let's wake up these paws, let's wake up these paws, let's wake up these paws, cause ooh, my first mistake was I wanted too much time. I had to have her morning, noon, and night, right? Why am I saying this? Cause if, pump that beat. It's Monday. I'm sorry, y'all. We got to start again. It's Tuesday the 1st, y'all. That's right, y'all. 2025. I'm your host, Bugatti NYC, and this here's our bottom line, where we be talking about this and that and that and this and this and that and that, where we be talking about this and that and that and this and this and that did get me pissed. But you got to keep on moving. You got to keep on rocking. Even though I might have stubbed a little bit or whatever like that, it's okay. You know why? This is our 250th episode. It took me 250 episodes to get to that point where we get to that little stub. It's okay with me. I will take the hit for that. 250 episodes, you guys. I hope y'all are happy because I am 250. 250 times of pressing that button right there, being on time at 6 o'clock, making sure we bring that heat. So you think I care about a little mess up on the intro? No, I don't. I mean, it would have been flawless, but it's all good. You know why? Because y'all the fam and I appreciate y'all. And y'all know, you know what? Y'all could have went anywhere, but the fact of the matter that you came here to chill with me, I appreciate you. I really, really do. Yes, it is Tuesday. It is the 1st of July. Time to pay that rent. Y'all, I know I ain't gonna mess that up. I bet you I get that rent out on time to make sure I had no problems with that landlord. How about that one? That's something that we can make sure that's gonna be on time and make sure. Because if not, you know, we're gonna get that knock, knock, knock that you don't want to hear on your door. Let's see who we got up in the building. Batty Lynn says, good morning, Mark. We got Jeffrey up in here. Good morning. We got Mark Dorfman. Good morning, Rebecca. We got Angels among us. How everybody doing? That's right. Angel says it's Tuesday. I know. And like, we're trying to throw your boy an alley-oop. I understand, but it happens sometimes. We got Jane up in here. We got Angels. We got Natalie up in here loving the yellow. Thank you so much, Natalie. We got Batty Lynn. Yay, 250. That's right. 250 episodes. So you know what? Everything ain't gonna go perfect. But you know what does go perfect? Every time I'm able to wake up in the morning, every time I'm able to thank God for having another day to be here with you guys. I tell you, sometimes I'll be going through something crazy, but it's like once I get to our bottom line, I go through all of my antics, and how could I still be angry? How could I still be angry after I done did all of that stuff? Think about it, because I got to carry that energy as well. So if I can be the vessel to make you guys' day and to make you guys move stronger, let it be, let it be, let it be, yeah, let it be. That's right, y'all. Let's keep on moving straight, because I'm going to tell you guys right now, I got so much in the clip. I'm telling you guys right now, it's about to be a banger. This is gonna have information. We got updates, we got follow-ups, we got information from Trump. We got all sorts of stuff going on right now. And I'm telling you guys, I am so ready. So without any further ado, let's get into this title. Yes, what do I got up here on this board? I have Trump demands action on tax bill. No one goes on vacation until it's done. That's right, you guys. Trump was demanding that everybody stay late, whatever you got to do. I thought they were about to get sequestered the way that they were talking. They're really trying to get this, as he says it, one big, beautiful bill passed and pushed through. Let's keep on moving, you guys. What else we got? We got Elaine Habba, who's been threatened. That's right. A Florida man charged with threatening the U.S. attorney. Thun, dun, 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 dun. You want to go on national or social networks or some stupid stuff like that, threatening the U.S. attorney, and guess what he got, y'all? Watch your head. Locked up, and they ain't letting him out. All sorts of crazy accusations. Fool even went on X and said some stupid stuff. Excuse me, guys. Let's keep on moving because we got one last one to go, which is probably a good thing that we hope. Vladimir Putin says Russia is ready to resume peace talks with Ukraine. He's been saying that about 35,000 times already as far as we're concerned. We've already heard from Volodymyr Zelensky saying, yeah, he said that a lot of times, which sent my red flag up. And next thing you know, I started doing a little bit of homework. And yeah, he's always talking about peace talks, but seems like they never get to that point. So without any further ado, you guys, I'm going to start stacking 5 on it. I'm going to stack 5 at a time. I'm going to come back to the comments, see what you guys got to say about it. Do your boy a favor. Let's try to stay on topic. Don't worry about trolls. Do me another favor and make sure that you let me know where you're chiming in from. We love to make sure that the content is relevant and always look for content in the areas that you guys are from. Let's keep it going, you guys. Let's do what we got to do. Early in the morning, Tuesday morning.
I think it's very bad for New York.
Right here, we're going to talk about the major threat which they feel about the, what's his name? Mamdani. They're calling his campaign the major threat. The person that I think is going to be the next mayor of New York. Yeah. Believe it or not, because it's just like I told you guys the other day. It's that Costanza effect. You know, George Costanza from Seinfeld. Every time he wants something to happen, it always goes the other way. Or maybe what's that guy's name? Let me just get into this right here. Let's go.
I don't know that he's going to get it. It's inconceivable that but he's a communist and he's a pure communist. I think he admits it, but I can't imagine it. But let's say this: if he does get in, I'm going to be president, then he's going to have to do the right thing, or they're not getting any money. He's got to do the right thing. It's shocking that I would have assumed that I used to say we will never have a socialist in this country. No, but we'll have a communist. I mean, he's a communist and going to be mayor of New York. So I was very surprised when I said, I never heard of him.
President Trump speaking with Maria on Sunday Morning Futures, weighing in on the winner of New York City's Democratic mayoral primary, self-described socialist Zohran Mamdani. House Minority Leader and New York Democrat Hakeem Jeffries withholding his endorsement, saying they don't know each other very well, but he did praise the successful campaign. Also on the November ticket, incumbent Mayor Eric Adams. As of now, former New York Governor Andrew Cuomo.
This is the problem right here. This is the problem, and we can just lay it straight out. People don't like you because they feel like you've taken money and done corruptive things as far as you're concerned, Eric Adams, plus your open door policies with the Trump administration. Cuomo, stuff that happened during COVID, book, bridge, whole bunch of other stuff. You, crazy than a bag of cats, but we know you love New York. But can you be the mayor? We don't know. So now that's why it's hard right now. All of these guys right here, and they're older. We got this new agenda that they're pushing forward with. So we got a problem here, y'all. It's not like the deck is stacked a certain way. It's pretty leveled in a bad way if you look at it from the way I'm looking at it. They don't want him to stay because they feel like his policies are going to be more Trump policies. This person, they definitely don't want to be the mayor. And then it's too shaky with you, man. I like you, but I just don't see it happening, Curtis.
Cuomo, and then Guardian Angels founder Curtis Sliwa. Joining me now, former New York Lieutenant Governor Betsy McCoy.
No, we don't need you, Betsy.
Betsy, I'm done.
We appreciate you, but we got to keep on stacking this deck right now because I got to get to these comments and let my people know what's going on here. We're gonna keep on moving forward because this is the part where I was telling you guys that Trump demands to get pushed through for the big, beautiful bill where he's saying if you guys got to stay overnight, whatever you got to do, just do what you got to do. Yeah, right here. We're going to get right into it and keep on moving forward, you guys. I got a lot to get into. Keep on staying on contact with the content that we got coming straight to you. Let's go.
Welcome back. Well, a scramble for the Senate to finish its rework of President Trump's big, beautiful bill with just over one legislative week before the July 4th deadline. The president posted this on Truth Social. To my friends in the Senate, lock yourself in a room if you must. Don't go home and get the deal done this week. No one goes on vacation until it's done. The Congressional Budget Office releasing its dynamic score of the bill, finding it would increase the deficit by $3.4 trillion, including interest. Joining me now is the Committee for Responsible Federal Budget President, Maya McGinnis. Maya, it's great to see you. Thank you so much for being here. We've talked back and forth about the spending in this bill and what it means for debt and deficits over the next 10 years. Where do you see potential?
I like the way she kind of broke it down and went into detail very briefly, so that's why we're going to let this go.
Improvement.
Well, there's lots of room where there should be improvement. What the Senate has done to change the House bill has made some improvements, primarily in the Medicaid space, where there's this huge state gimmick that goes on for provider taxes. And what the House did to try to improve that wasn't nearly as aggressive as it could or should be. And the Senate has taken steps to improve that. They should go further. And additionally, the Senate took a lot of those tax components that they're extending and made them permanent rather than temporary. That's better for tax policy. That's better for certainty. On the other hand, the Senate has weakened a number of parts of this, pulling back on food stamps. There are a lot of things that they have to drop from the bill because they don't work in reconciliation. So we don't know the final score on the differences between the two. But what we do know, Maria, is big picture. This bill would still add well over $3 trillion in new borrowing, and far more if the additional pieces that would expire were made permanent. We cannot afford that right now. We should be looking at many more offsets or scaling back the tax extensions that they're putting in there or the new taxes. But what we should not do is pass a bill that will make the debt worse, and it's still on track to do that by the trillions.
But Maya, what about the idea that on the other side of this, we're going to see economic growth? Because, you know, you're talking about the tax extensions. This is something now that business is expecting. Small business, big business. It's now in their models that they are expecting to see those tax cuts extended. And if that doesn't happen, you actually could see a spiral situation where markets go down, businesses stop spending and investing in the future. I mean, I spoke with the chairman and CEO of Bank of America yesterday, Brian Moynihan, and he felt that the markets and the economy need those tax cuts extended. Watch this. Is this a front center issue? Getting those tax rates extended, ensuring they get this bill over the finish line?
Well, there's an assumption it'll be extended so much, though, that if it didn't get extended, it would be a real shock to the system, and that's what everybody's working to avoid. The debt is more of a front and center topic in America today. The levels have gotten to where there's more concern among bipartisan and things like that. So that's why I think there's hope. Back in about 10 to 12 years ago, there was a bipartisan commission to try to figure out how to solve this. I think you could see efforts to push through some way to manage this more effectively. But I'd say that the taxes really, everybody's assuming to get through, would be real shock to the system. They don't. So I think that's the number one thing, just to take away that tail risk of it not being extended.
So,
Guys talking about why you always play the politics, and that's not just politics, that's money. And you guys always want to hear about the money, 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 money. If it's not that, it's the tariffs that you guys want to hear about. So yeah, we've covered it, and we're going to keep on moving forward, because now we got this thunderer that threatened Alina Howard. I don't know why he did this. I'm sorry, he's a thunderer. Come on, Florida, y'all always got not good news, but there's always something going on in Florida that we can rely on to pull from to have content. And yes, right now, we got this situation where this man threatened Alina Howard, and he got locked up. They not letting him out. guaranteed, threatening the government, U.S. attorney? Nah, ain't happening.
Folks, good afternoon. My name is Greg Kehoe. I'm the U.S. Attorney for the Middle District of Florida. With me at the podium is Matt Fodor. He's a special agent in charge of the FBI for the Miami Field Division. This week, the Middle District of Florida grand jury indicted Salvador Rosotto for threats he made against United States Attorney for the District of New Jersey, Alina Habba. The defendant was arrested this morning in Orlando in connection with that indictment. By way of background, on May 19, 2005, ex-user at Risotto Sal, who was later identified as the defendant, made a series of threatening posts on X social media platform, including, "How about 86 Alina Habba?" Keep in mind this took place shortly after the controversy in the media about the use of 86 and what 86 actually meant. The next, a slow, painful death for Habba. Eliminate Habba, 86 traitor. Death penalty for all traitors. I hope you die a painful death, to name just a few. Many of those threats are listed in the indictment, but frankly, at this press conference, they are much too vulgar to quote. An investigation by the FBI showed the defendant resided in Orlando and was using an IP address in Orlando. The FBI and the United States Marshal Service took immediate action to identify Risotto and ascertain that Risotto had in fact made the threats in response to perceived official actions by United States Attorney Habba.
So the way that they do that IP, internet provider, right? So they go to the IP number and they basically find your address through the IP. Basically, next thing you know, or boop, get on the ground. I don't know how this went down, but I think it was more towards the second way. Boop, get on the ground. You made enough threats. Get over here. Zip ties, all that. Probably brought them out like a little hog tie situation. Never know because they don't have it on video or anything like that. What you guys got for me over here in the comments? We get taxed way too much, says K-Dog. Miami, it's too early for this. Angels Among Us says 214, Florida's crazy. Linda says fake as usual. Okay, Jeffrey Spiker, you said it, John. John says communist, socialist, Marxist. Ooh, we're going to keep on going. Joel, I'm from Spain, but this is interesting. Can someone give me context? Angels, what's this? Eagles channel setting efforts not withholding. I don't know what you're talking about. K-Dog says tax on our labor, tax when we spend, taxed on our home, taxed in the form of interest by the banks. Yeah, we stay getting taxed, K-Dog, for real, for real. Roger Mission, LOL. Amanda says, how can anyone vote for Trump? Have FU. Okay, Orlando. Yes, this is Orlando, y'all. This is in Orlando, Florida.
The two-count indictment that you have before you alleges that the defendant transmitted interstate threats to injure the victim, U.S. Attorney Habba, and that the defendant was retaliating against U.S. Attorney Habba, a federal law enforcement officer, by threats. The allegations in the indictment that I have summarized to your allegations, the defendant is, in this case, as in all cases, presumed innocent and until proven guilty. As an aside, make no mistake about it, and the word should go forth, that if you threaten to kill or injure any person in the Middle District of Florida, our office, in conjunction with the FBI, our other federal law enforcement officers, and state and local officers will partner together to identify, pursue, and federally prosecute you. You will be held accountable under the laws of the United States. We will stop you from threatening victims and from following through on those threats. Our highest priority is to keep our community safe. In this case, our law enforcement.
Now, with that being said, they got Brian up off of here for a long time. You know who I'm talking about? What's that guy's name? Brian Kohberger out in what's his name? Brian Kohberger in Idaho. He accepted a plea deal yesterday for all of those college Yes, XXings that he basically did. It seems like it was about 4 or 5 people that we know of. He basically took 3 life sentences and no possibility of parole at all, guys. Check this fool out.
Following news out of Idaho, Brian Kohberger, accused of murdering 4 University of Idaho students in 2022, has accepted a plea deal. ABC News has confirmed that he has agreed to plead guilty to all counts. ABC News Live anchor Kana Whitworth is on the phone with us. She has been following this case from the beginning. And Kana, what details can you share with us about how this deal came together?
Yeah, Alex, I mean, this is simply a stunning turn of events in a case that has gripped this entire nation. Up until today, we were looking at an August 18th trial date with Brian Kohberger's life on the line. What we know now from families who received a letter is that Brian Kohberger has accepted a plea deal. In part of this plea deal, the defendant will plead guilty to all counts listed in the indictment. So that is 4 counts of murder as well as a burglary count as well. He will serve 4 life sentences consecutively with no possibility of parole. And the defendant will waive all rights to appeal this conviction as well. It also sounds like they will be seeking some restitution for families. This is things like money for funeral expenses and victims' compensation. The next thing that's happening, Alex, is there will be a change of plea hearing, and that is this Wednesday, July 2nd. And so for some, this may be some finality and some closure. For others, you have to imagine, Alex, there are so many unanswered questions in this case, and I'm sure that there's fear that those questions will remain unanswered.
So he did this in order to not get the D penalty. So now he's going to be spending life in prison. What you guys got to say about that? What did that one do? 4 college kids on some what you call it on some murder stuff. Crazy guy. Crazy, but you can't even tell because he looks like somebody that's clean cut. You would never expect him to do something like that. What a loser. Joker smile, said Angels Among Us. Brock Purdy says the great, he should be freed. Whoa, Natalie Georgievich says his eyes look void of anything. Nova said, I like that plea deal. I like the plea deal, but I would like the bzzz even better. Straight up and down, not even going to play with you. God did that. Eagles and no one. Angels Among Us says, exactly, Natalie. Natalie says, very creepy dude. I agree with Angels. I think that he should have got the shock. Straight up and down. Put it to him. Put it to him. How what's his name? How that guy said it? Talking about, the reason why we don't got the death penalty is because we don't got nobody to pull the switch. God bless the dead. Robin Harris said, shit, I do it 2 at a time. Bzz, gotta go. He said, put 2 at a time. Gotta go. The same guy that made Baby's Kids. Y'all know who I'm talking about. When he did that stand-up, oh man, that was my guy, Robin Harris. But this guy right here, somebody said it. His eyes look very void. Whatever he did, he's already taking it in, and I think it's possible that he probably did more than what he's claiming he did. And like they said right here, he's takes the plea deal to avoid the D penalty, and he's going to spend the rest of his life in prison. Also, what they did was they took off the possibility of parole, so that he don't try to go to parole or try to have some way of pushing back and saying in the future, maybe 20 or 30 years, saying, well, I'm old man now. No. Remember the deal, buddy. It's over for you. When you drop in here, that's when we dig a hole for you. You got life. Temperatures like 103. Yeah, buddy, you got life. For real, you need a couple of those. And not only that, but like I said, he need that. Yeah, that's what he really need. I ain't gonna go into it. We're gonna go on over to the Oval Office because we got Donald Trump that's making more remarks about Canada being the 51st state. You know, he's been really pushing for Canada. Oh, Canada, just be our 51st state. He's been pushing for that for a minute.
His rhetoric over Canada becoming the 51st state, days after saying trade negotiations between the 2 countries have ended. This is what he had to say in an interview with Fox News earlier today.
Canada is a very tough country to deal with, I will say that.
But you
and I love Canada.
You have the USMCA in place.
I know, but
You'll have to deal with it.
USMCA is no good if they cheat.
What does that mean?
Well, there's been things going on that we don't like, and things going on where they took advantage. And hopefully, we'll be fine with Canada. I love Canada. Frankly, Canada should be the 51st state. Okay, it really should, because Canada relies entirely on the United States. We don't rely on Canada.
Trump had previously announced an end to trade talks between the long-standing allies, plunging Canada's relationship with its southern neighbor.
I swear, if a face could tell it all, his face just tells it. Now Donald Trump is going to announce the One Big Beautiful Bill event. This is where he's really trying to push to get this bill through. I'm gonna be honest with you. I like the way that it's being monitored and upgraded and revised and stuff. But I do think that, you know, I would like to make sure that people are taken care of on all sides.
Among the countless citizens who will benefit from these tax cuts is Malachi Krzyzewski, a devoted mom and DoorDash driver from Ripon, Wisconsin, who uses her tip income to support her son. To think of that, no tax on tips, and it was a very big problem. I was at a dinner in my beautiful building in Las Vegas, and unrelated to this, and I said, "What's going on?" I will never say good-looking waitress, because looks don't matter anymore, you know, in our modern society. She happened to be beautiful, but I won't say that. I won't mention that. But nevertheless, a waitress came over, and I said, "How are you doing?" She said, "Not good, sir." "Why?" "The government is killing me on tips." And she looked at me, she said, "Sir, there should be no tax on tips." I said, "Say it again." "There should be no tax on tips." I said, "That's the coolest thing I've ever heard." I walked outside, the press was there, as always, waiting for something bad to happen, hundreds of them. I said, "Ladies and gentlemen, please announce tonight there will be no tax on tips." And a legend was made. We won Nevada by so much. Republicans don't win Nevada. We won Nevada. So I want to thank that young, beautiful waitress. Thank you very much. But with no tax on tips and other cuts, this bill will save Malachi thousands of dollars per year, enabling her to achieve her goal of visiting every U.S. state with her son. She wants to visit every state by the time he's 18 years old. So, right, Malachi, it sounds to me like you're off to a fantastic start. And where are you, Malachi? Where are you? Congratulations. That's good.
All right, y'all, we got to keep on going. We're going to keep on stacking this deck. Want to know what you guys think about that. I know you probably saw it, but yeah, I love to keep on bringing in new info. We got this DEI director for Kathy Hochul, who's been slapped with multiple charges because her and her husband, they decided to do some really crazy stuff. You know what they decided to do? They were slapped with multiple $1 million in fraud schemes. Her and her husband have been stealing and embezzling, for also possibly spying on our country. Chinese lady, check this out. I'm no disrespect to who she is, but yeah, I could say that on this one because she's already played her hand and she's already stacked the deck against herself.
I'm Christina Owayo in Dallas, and here are your top stories. Linda Sun, a former DEI officer and deputy chief of staff to Governor Kathy Hochul, faces serious federal charges related to a multi-million-dollar personal protective equipment, PPE, fraud and kickback scheme during the COVID-19 pandemic, as well as allegations of acting as an unregistered foreign agent for the Chinese government. The 41-year-old, who was born in China, was issued a second superseding indictment against Sun and her husband, who, for their alleged roles in a PPE fraud scheme during the early stages of the pandemic. She's being charged with wire fraud and conspiracy. She allegedly steered state contracts to two companies with personal connections. Hu and Sun are also being charged with bribery for allegedly receiving millions of dollars.
Watch the amounts of money that they stole.
In kickbacks from the vendors they favored. A spreadsheet on their personal computer showed that one company paid them about $2.3 million in 2020 and 2021. Another spreadsheet in whose electronic accounts showed expected profits of more than $8 million from both companies' contracts with the New York State Department of Health, with WHO noting, quote, me in the profit column. The kickbacks enabled Sun and WHO to fund a lavish lifestyle, including a $3.6 million mansion in New York, a $1.9 million condo in Hawaii, a 2024 Ferrari, and other luxury vehicles. Sun and WHO were first indicted on September 3rd, 2024, for allegedly acting as undisclosed agents for the People's Republic of China and the Chinese Communist Party. These charges included violating and conspiring to violate the Foreign Agents Registration Act, visa fraud and alien smuggling, money laundering conspiracy, conspiracy to commit bank fraud, and misuse of means of identification related to the fraudulent use of a relative's identity to open bank accounts. They both pleaded not guilty. They are set for arraignment on the new...
Oh, who's that you're next to? Okay, you know how to pick a winner. That's done happened 5 times in your administration already. Also, you're doing it as well with your husband and all of the stuff that you guys are doing over on the avenue where you're robbing people over there for this congestive pricing crap. I like to see where the kickbacks is going for that. Yeah.
PPE fraud charges on June 30th in Brooklyn. Sun was released on a $1.5 million bond and WHO on a $500,000 bond with travel restrictions and orders to avoid contact with the Chinese consulate.
Travel restrictions and orders to avoid because you know if they go over there, they're going to try to hide them, right?
Their assets, including properties, luxury vehicles, and $210,000 in cash, have been seized. That's what you need to know in Dallas.
See, now that's the part that I'm talking about. You do all that work, you get built up to a certain part in your life, and then you decide to do something stupid. Then they come to your house like, and then next thing you know, watch your head. And then you taking that ride of shame like this, looking stupid. And you got locked up and they ain't letting you out. And guess what? You see those bags under her eyes? That's not from working. That's from crying. Yeah, that's what them bags came from. Them Louis Vuitton bags up under her eyes, them Glad bags, that's from crying. What y'all got for me over here? I wish I would have found them before the law. We got Angels Among Us, says John, you think? APOC that. What else you got? James says subscribe, but I can't watch anymore. This makes me sick. Eric E, yeah, congestion taxation needs to stop. Natalie says, and we are to expect clown show wasn't getting paid. Okay, oh yeah, exactly. You know she was getting a little kickback. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but they ain't gonna tie her to it. Appalachian Lumberjack says they ain't never showing up in court. But yeah, John Honey, pot for sure. That one guy, let's go Trump. Okay, Appalachian says Lumberjack. Yeah, well, you about to get up out of here, Appalachian. Jay Hodges says Jeffrey Spiker, it's 3:32. I don't know what y'all talking about. Y'all probably going to timestamps or whatever like that. Because, yeah, we do be wilding up in there. We got to keep on moving forward, y'all. Because, all right, I got your comments out. I want to know if you guys do your boy a favor now. If y'all appreciate the content. Because I've only been up since 3 o'clock pooling. Hit that button at 6 o'clock. And we keep on moving until the clips are done. And I got so much in the clip, it's not even funny. So do your boy a favor right now. Go ahead and double tap that screen. Let's get those likes up to let more people know that we're over here. How did that work, Bugatti? What happens is when that person, double taps that screen to get that like up, YouTube sends out a notification. Another person says, they look at the header, boom, and they come over here and say, what's going on? And that means the full circle has been completed. When you see somebody talking about, hey, what's going on? Or hi, that means that they saw the notification and clicked on it. Like this person right here. How you doing, Jay Hodges? I'm Spike. I know Jay Hodges. He's a member, so he got a glove. We got Appalachian here. We got Elma right now, Arizona time. That's right. So we got to send up those notifications in order to let more people know that we're over here. Now, U.S. worldwide, Social Security payments are expected to be deferred. Why? Because overpayments over the past year, up to, I think they're taking up to 50% of the deferral. They're trying to say that a lot of people that were on Social Security were being overpaid. And they're going to start deferring and taking some of that money back. Check this out, you guys. If you're on Social Security, if you got family members that are, you might want to look into this because this is something very important to know.
Some Americans will be getting smaller Social Security checks starting this week. The Social Security Administration says it overpaid millions of dollars in recent years, and it's trying to recover those payments. Officials say it happened because of miscalculations or people not reporting income changes. The administration says it will now withhold 50% of overpayments instead of 10%. People can request a waiver if they cannot repay or were not at fault.
Now you see, that was about 26 seconds, but it was probably some of the most important news that you would ever see, right? How fast they try to go by it. Yeah. We gonna calm it down and get everybody knowing what they talking about. Used to be 10%. They talking about deferring up to 50%. What else y'all got up in the building? In fact, I think I'll leave now. Appalachian says all right, you can leave. Natural or unseen says Katie. Overpaid, huh? Exactly. You see that, right? That's why I did that face. Spreading lies, says Brooklyn. Okay, Jasper, us down, show since 1776. Phil, the check should be about $800. John, people are going to absolutely unequivocally lose their minds over this. And that's why I'm telling you guys, do me a favor if y'all don't want to be here, you're a grown person. Y'all can kick a rock for a block. Make yourself feel better. Be free of me. Come on now. I don't want you feeling terrible. Oh, why am I here? Why am I looking at this? Lord, help me. Get the hell up out of here. You don't got to stay. I ain't forcing you. I ain't in your crib talking about watch our bottom line. Come on now. Get the hell up out of here. We don't care. Kick a rock for a block. Bye. U.S. worldwide. Okay, now we got to keep on moving to Canada now because we got this is what we talked about and why Canada was having a problem when it came down to negotiations because they threw the monkey wrench in talking about tech tax for a company that's not even performing in Canada. Now Canada drops that tax on these and now they want to start since Canada has dropped the tech tax. They're now going to restart the negotiations with the United States of America, basically. Let's get into it real quick.
As we've just been discussing on Canada, I think the removal of that digital services. As we've just been discussing on Canada, I think the removal of that digital services tax, while some may have argued that that was actually a point of leverage for Canada in any trade negotiations with the United States, removing that off the table does seem to have opened the door maybe a little bit more for the U.S. and Canada to negotiate a deal. I think it's pretty, it's important to note that this kind of leaves the path for Trump and the Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney to talk about something maybe before July 21st. Notably, that's a week or so after that July 9th deadline that Trump has been talking about getting all of this sorted. So really, that's one to watch. Although obviously earlier this year, Trump really kind of made a point of going after Canada. So I think we'll have to see kind of how tensions evolve between those two border nations as they try to work toward an agreement.
Okay, so now we know what's going on with Canada and why they were holding back on the negotiations because they was trying to do that tech tax, which basically said if you don't perform it, you still got to pay a tax. That's crazy. What else we got up in here? We got Starlights that says W Stream. That's right. Old Hanson says, and the salaries of the Boeing CEO is? Glenn Polk says, for real, I get a very little retired as I retired LPN. Ain't that crazy? Yes, I need you guys to be informed. That's why I'm telling you guys what's going on. Percy Miracle says, overpayment was discovered by Doge. Ooh, that's a good observation. Okay, Wendell is trying to get up out of here. So let's go ahead, do what we got to do. I'm going to let y'all do it with me. We ain't do this in a long time. Bam! Out of here. Wendell, you're playing too much and you're taking up too much real estate, which you don't pay for. So now you got to go. Bam! There you go. Let's make sure that you out of here. You see how you got cleaned up? A nice clean sweep came across the board, and now all of those refreshing messages can come in. Don't ever think you can come in here and play with my stream like that, boy. I'm notorious. Yeah, notorious. Yeah, now let's get back to our daily stream that we got going on here. Now I'm going to talk to you guys about Russia because Vladimir Putin says that Russia is ready to resume peace talks with Ukraine after Ukraine bombs. I'm sorry for saying that word. I'm not going to try to say nothing after it, but after they do that, to several key planes that they were using to strike against Ukraine. Let me let the rest of this be spoken out on here, because some things are key words that will make that circle start coming and end the show. So excuse me, I got to be really careful right here. I'm going to let the video do the rest.
Russia's President Vladimir Putin says his country is ready to resume peace talks with Ukraine. Russia's President Vladimir Putin says his country is ready to resume peace talks with Ukraine. Both sides continue to target each other. Ukraine says it struck 4 warplanes in its most recent attack on Russia's war assets. Stephanie Bennett has more.
These types of warplanes have been some of Russia's main aircrafts used in bombing raids across Ukraine. In a post on Telegram, Ukraine's military said they hit 4 Su-34 planes, as well as facilities that service and repair them. It happened at a Russian base more than 550 miles east from the Ukrainian border. And earlier this month, Kyiv carried out another major strike, dubbed Operation Spider's Web, striking long-range Russian bombers at several air bases. On Friday in Minsk, President Putin said they're ready for a 3rd round of peace talks with Ukraine, but a date has not yet been set. The Russian leader said the terms and conditions of a potential ceasefire are expected to be on the agenda, but so far previous peace efforts have been brief and yielded no progress. And the war shows no signs of slowing. Russian drones struck Odessa overnight, killing at least 2 people and injuring more than 17 others inside an apartment block. Meanwhile, from Moscow, the Russian Defense Ministry released this video showing their soldiers holding Russian flags, claiming to have captured yet another village in Ukraine's eastern Kharkiv region. They also claim to have shot down 40 Ukrainian drones overnight over western Russia and Crimea. But Russia is facing financial pressures. And in a surprise statement yesterday, President Putin said a military spending cut is under discussion.
That's probably why they want to go ahead and end it, because they ain't got the dough to fight no more, and they ain't got no more people. I said some bad stuff. I was saying to myself, you know what? Imagine if that was us against them. We probably would have ended them already, and it's not good to say that, because if they having that much problems with Ukraine, come on now. I used to be scared of them since Rocky. But when you see somebody else beat the bully up or can stand up against the bully, you be like, hold on a minute. You mean to tell me you wasn't all that intimidating in the first place? Okay, let's keep on getting into these comments over here. Who's saying, how old are you? Question mark. Enough garbage, says Aladdin G. Aladdin G, you can go. Yes, did I catch it? Did not. Claiming you can go. I'm telling you straight up, me and you, face to face, Aladdin G, kick a rock for a block. Don't even make me have to kick you up out of here. If you don't like what's going on, get up out of here. Now we're gonna keep on moving. We got Kingdom that says true. Zombolic says true, but they have N-words. Okay, Old Hanson says the new head of security against terrorism in the U.S. is a 22-year-old who puts stuff on shelves in supermarkets before this job. That's not a good thing. That's not a good thing at all. Brandon, good morning. Percy Miracle says, Iran also probably asked Russia to help back them. Never know, you guys. Do your boy a favor, double tap that screen, because now we got to go to... Now, what y'all want to do? You want to be ballers? He want to come home for real. That's what he want to do. Let me tell you something right now. That's what I keep on telling you guys. All these rich millionaires, all these people, especially certain ones that have a lot to lose. They wish they was you right now. Trust me. All these people, they got 30, 40, 50 years. They don't even care about their riches. They just wish that they was free. Case in point, we got that trial that's still going on where these deliberations are going back and forth and back with P. Diddy trial, and they're entering their final days of the deliberations, you guys. As you know, he didn't have any witnesses or anybody that they brought up to, to question or anything. So yeah, we at this point right now where this is where we at.
Following
now.
7 weeks of dramatic testimony on Monday, the fate of hip-hop mogul Sean Diddy Combs will officially be in the hands of a jury. A group of 8 men and 4 women will begin deliberating in New York federal court to determine whether Combs is guilty of 5 felony charges. 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution, 2 counts of sex trafficking, and 1 count of racketeering.
The Grammy Award winner has pled not guilty, his defense team making their closing arguments Friday, telling the jury the claims against Combs are badly exaggerated and part of his swingers lifestyle.
He may have done bad things, the defense argued, but he didn't do these federal crimes.
But prosecutors alleging the singer, who didn't testify, ran a criminal enterprise and that Combs used power, violence, and fear to get what he wanted. The prosecution calling 34 witnesses, including his longtime ex-girlfriend, Cassie Ventura. Prosecutors playing jurors this 2016 security video showing Combs beating Ventura at a Los Angeles hotel, saying Prosecutors playing jurors this 2016 security video showing Combs beating Ventura at a Los Angeles hotel, saying Combs physically abused and sex trafficked her and another woman, forcing them to participate in sexual encounters Combs called freak-offs.
That video did it
But
for
Combs'
me.
lawyer telling the jury there's no evidence to support those claims and that if he was charged with domestic violence, he would have pled guilty. On Monday, the judge will give jurors instructions before deliberating behind closed doors. They need to reach a unanimous agreement on each count, with Combs facing the possibility of 15 years to life in prison if convicted. Liz Kreutz, NBC News.
We thank you. Man, that'd be crazy. Like I said, that's when they'd be like, man, I'd rather be you right now. Exactly. All that road to the riches, did all that stuff to get to that point. Terrible. Just like this lady right here. She got to be at least about 60-something years old. She embezzled over $10 million. Yes, Arizona, come here. This Democratic person, I don't know, whatever her position was, she's been sentenced to 10 years for less than $38 million in county funds that she's stolen. Check this out, you guys. Check this craziness out.
Ohio and Dallas, and here are your top stories. Former Santa Cruz County Treasurer Elizabeth Gutbar has been sentenced to 10 years in prison for embezzling and laundering more than $38 million in public funds. She was sentenced in federal court in Tucson, Arizona by District Judge Rosemary C. Marquez. The case is one of Arizona's largest government embezzlement scandals in history. Gutbar served as Santa Cruz County Treasurer from 2012 until her resignation in 2024. During this time, she allegedly orchestrated a sophisticated scheme to embezzle nearly $40 million from county funds.
She got to be at least about 60, 70 years old, going to jail for 10 years. And they not playing. They want her today. Ain't no come talk. We going to tell you when. Come here. Right now. You took that money. Come on.
The 63-year-old pleaded guilty back in November to charges of embezzlement by a public official, money laundering, and tax evasion, allowing her to avoid a trial. The FBI and IRS found that Gutbar initiated about 187 unauthorized wire transfers from Santa Cruz County's bank accounts, bypassing the required two-step approval process by using the authentication token of one of her employees, meaning she was able to both initiate and approve the transactions. The embezzled funds were funneled into accounts under the names of fake companies that she created. Gutbar spent the money on purchasing real estate properties, renovating her family ranch, covering expenses for her cattle business, buying at least 20 vehicles, and acquiring homes in Mexico and
Let's run this down real quick. Purchasing real estate properties, all been seized. Renovating her family ranch. Whatever the renovations of the family ranch is, if they can't pay it, seized. Covering expenses for her cattle business, seized. Buying at least 20 vehicles, seized. This is terrible right here. Covering expenses for her cattle business, a business that you developed and you grew from nothing possibly, that you decided to steal money from to keep it going further. That's stupid. Purchasing real estate properties that you know is going to get taken away from you at some point. I guess she thought that she was never going to get caught with any of this stuff, y'all.
Pine Top, Arizona, as well as a horse ranch. The total amount embezzled was about $38.7 million.
Acquiring homes in Mexico. Wait a minute. This fool was going nuts with it. She thought she was female baby Trump. Buying at least 20 vehicles and acquiring homes in Mexico and Pine Top, Arizona, as well as a horse ranch. Damn. Horses are expensive to maintain, too.
Judge Marquez sentenced Gutbar to 10 years in prison, followed by 3 years of supervised release. Her plea agreement was for 5.25 to 6.5 years, but the judge thought she deserved more time behind bars.
Marty said, look like AZ got some new stuff. Did she think that it was going to not be discovered? Scout said if Harvester, she forgot to say fake news. Where's the auction? LOL. Avenue Red said, I'm in Tucson. Everybody trying to find out, is bro a lawyer? No, I'm not. Angels Among Us too. Poor horses, hopefully rehomed, of course. Okay, yeah, hopefully they definitely get rehomed. We know we love the animals over here.
She was also ordered to pay about $51.8 million in restitution. She was immediately taken into custody by the U.S. Marshals after sentencing. The FBI and IRS started their investigation after Chase Bank contacted them about unusual transactions. That's what you need to know in Dallas.
She got that old. Now she got 10 years. That could be a D sentence right there. That could be a Dill's Neff sentence right there for somebody that old. That's crazy right there. We got to keep on moving forward to Florida. That was the tongue twister. Moving forward to Florida, where we got this family that described an alleged Central Florida road rage incident. He has a gun. He has a weapon. So guess what? They were riding in the car. I guess they honked at the wrong dude. Dude was already having a bad day. He decided to pull that thing and tap it on the window. Check this out, y'all. This is kind of crazy. Coming from Disneyland, too. How y'all gonna do this to some kids that was coming from, probably hanging out with their family somewhere?
All new at 6, a family is still shaken up after an alleged road rage incident. A husband, wife, and their 2 daughters were visiting the theme parks from out of town. They were heading down International Drive when they say this man pointed a gun at them. As Fox 35's Matt Trezza reports, deputies say this was all over a honk.
It started out as a routine exchange between drivers. The police report states there was a Mazda stopped in the middle of the street and the driver behind him honked his horn. But then things escalated quickly.
And as we were passing him, he held a handgun out the window and aimed it at my wife's window in the front passenger side.
And I yelled, he's got a gun, and I immediately, dropped down.
The alleged victims in the story asked only to be identified by their first names, Eric and Erin, for fear of their safety. They say when they saw the gun, they dropped to the floor, but the other driver kept following them.
Honestly, we just started praying. We just started praying because I had no idea what to even think.
Eventually, the Mazda turned into a Red Lobster parking lot, and that's where police found the alleged gunman later. It turns out he works there. 33-year-old Stephen D'Souza's arrest affidavit states he admitted to police, yes, he did hold his gun up after Eric honked at him, but claims he didn't really point it specifically at them and tried to downplay the exchange.
It wasn't just a little mistake that he made. It was a big deal. Not something that just happens and then it goes away. It's going to be something they're going to keep in mind every time they're driving in traffic now.
The family says things could have gotten a whole lot worse because Eric had a gun with him too. He says he's glad he didn't wind up grabbing his own weapon.
It could have been a bad situation. My family could have been in harm's way, so I think being a gun owner is a privilege, but we need to be responsible.
Police found
your boy got that Tom Selleck mustache. Don't play with Magnum P.I. You know he got a Magnum. Don't play with him.
D'Souza, quote, created a well-founded fear that violence was about to take place. He's facing charges for aggravated assault. Matt Trezza, Fox 35 News.
All right, y'all. Yeah, we got to keep on moving. This road rage is kind of crazy. He tried to get, when he got trouble, he tried to say, oh, no, I wasn't doing anything. I might have put it out the window, but I wasn't. Stop it. Come on now. Why would you even put it out the window if you ain't going to do it the rest of it with what they said that you did? Now you done lost your permit and you got... Watch your head. Now you look like a dun-dun-dun because they came to the job to get you. How about that? What else y'all got for me in these comments? Unc says locked up into the news. Marty says banned hammer from Russia. Harvester, I pray my PBJ sandwich time is great. What else? Kingpin, ha ha ha, you sir Bugatti. Mr. Good Citizen, good morning Mr. Good Citizen. Being a gun owner is a right, not a privilege. What else you got for me? Mr. Kimo says, being a gun owner is not a privilege, somebody says. Angels Among Us says, definitely not going out this weekend. Too many crazies. What else? Right, not a privilege. Thank Maine Arbor for the $2 super chat, you guys. We appreciate you so much, Maine Arbor. Haven't heard from you in a while, but thank you so much for the $2 super chat. What you got for us? Bugatti, make me a mod so I can help. Just tell me who it is and I'll get them up out of here. Or we're gonna just keep on doing what we normally do, which is ignore them. Once you ignore the trolls, they leave anyway. And then you guys tell me who they are boom, and then they're good. Don't even worry about it. I get up at 6 o'clock to do this, so check this out. You guys are probably not going to be able to run with me every day when it comes to the mod, so I appreciate it. But tell me who that person is or who they are, and I'll just get them out of here. Don't worry about it. It's not even that serious, because now we got to go to, I'm just a bill, I'm just a bill, and I'm sitting here on Capitol Hill. Remember that? Oh, yeah, y'all remember that one, right? Come on, y'all. We got Pam Bondi, who endorses. She's flipped on this one person that said, oh, this is a very small clip right here. It's small interaction, but I like to see interactions like this because it shows that politics aren't just politics. It shows humanity and people have attitudes. So Pam Bondi basically was like, you endorsed Joe Biden and won a lecture about competence to this person that was questioning her. Check this out.
You want to talk about incompetence? You're the one that said Joe Biden on PBS was competent. You had to retract those words.
Mr.
So
Chairman,
talk to me. Don't insult me publicly.
This is so discourteous. This is so outside the committee's guidelines. Taking a personal shot at me while swiping at Biden.
Yeah, that's all you could say because she kind of got you on that one, right? Now we're going to keep on going because we got more Bondi. We got the Bondi section today. Dun, 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 dun. We got more Bondi. We got Bondi over here who has warnings for the creator of this ice tracking app. We got this genius who thought that it would be smart to make an app to track ice. Yeah. I don't know if that's federal or whatever like that. Tracking where police are going and when they're investigating. It's a really thin line between doing something stupid and getting yourself locked up. Check this out now. Check this out.
I talked with Joshua Aaron, who is the longtime tech worker who developed this platform, and he said he really wants it to be an early warning system for people about the location of Immigrations and Customs Enforcement officers. So he says he does not want people interfering with those officers' activity, but he does want people to be able to avoid them altogether. You open the app, it looks like a map, and users can tap the map to report an ICE sighting in their area, and then everybody who uses the platform within 5 miles of that sighting will get a push alert. This is a free iPhone app. It is anonymous. Aaron says he doesn't collect any user data.
And meanwhile, President Trump is set to visit the grand opening of what is now being dubbed Alligator Alcatraz. That is a detention center in the Everglades for illegal immigrants. And the Attorney General, Pam Bondi, is with us with more. Madam Attorney General, great to have you, as always. Let's start with these lawsuits, the one against Los Angeles and last week in Minnesota.
Yeah, well, Sean, in Los Angeles, what LA was doing, and we also sued Karen Bass, the mayor, directly. What they were doing is they were prioritizing illegal aliens over American citizens, and you cannot do that. These sanctuary policies are the root of the cause of violent crime in our country, in LA. We saw it with the riots. We had to send out DEA, FBI, ATF, our U.S. Marshals, jeopardize their safety to help enforce the laws of Los Angeles. We're not going to protect illegal aliens over Americans. No longer. It's stopped. We have sued New York, Illinois, Colorado, New Jersey, and now we've sued Los Angeles, and we will continue to sue you if you do not follow the laws of our country.
Bottom line.
Mamdani, I noticed, made that pledge about not helping or following the law. We do have the supremacy clause in the Constitution. They do have jurisdiction, is my understanding. But isn't that the same for every sanctuary city or state?
Yeah, and what Dabi is saying in New York is utterly ridiculous. It's making mainstream anti-Semitism, Sean. This guy is out of control. What he's been doing, what he's been saying, he wanted to defund, do away with NYPD. It's so frightening. And the things about anti-Semitism should scare us all, given what happened with the Holocaust Museum, given what happened in Boulder, Colorado, and we just lost that victim, as you know, the 82-year-old victim who was firebombed. Given what happened in the UK with that concert, saying all these anti-Semitic things, someone like that is very dangerous, not only for New York, but for our entire country. So we're going to keep fighting for the citizens of these cities. If these mayors and these candidates for mayors won't do it, Donald Trump will.
Now let's go to another sanctuary city. We'll go on over to Baltimore, where they're starting to see all of these robberies start to shoot up. I guess because people are broke on the street, but that don't mean to rob people. That means go get a job or hustle harder.
A recent uptick in robberies across the city. That's according to the latest police data.
Didn't feel like I had almost just died, even though like maybe that's where that could have led. So I think having those thoughts while it was all happening really helped me keep calm.
And tonight we're looking into the numbers and hearing from victims who say they're thankful things didn't go from bad to worse. According to the latest citywide crime data,
Baltimore citywide robbery detectives need your help.
Baltimore police have been busy the first half of June investigating a spike in robberies. That's according to our media partners at the Baltimore Sun.
Females armed with guns entered a business, discharged their weapons, and announced a robbery.
On Friday, Baltimore police released this surveillance video in southeast Baltimore of two robbery suspects who they say robbed a 68-year-old female just before 10 in the morning.
Anyone with information on the identity of these individuals is urged to contact detectives.
According to the latest data from Baltimore police, robbery saw a 40% increase between June 1st and June 14th from just 2 weeks before. Back on June 11th, Nick Webb was robbed in front of his Fells Point home while unloading his car.
Once I opened the trunk and kind of turned my back a little bit, that's when they pulled the gun out.
On June 14th, this downtown smoke shop robbed just before closing time.
Same kids, they robbed.
And notice how they're wearing the shiesty mask, you guys. Remember what we talked about yesterday? The shiesties. By the way, Hussein is gone. This other dude is gone. They keep on playing around, but y'all think I'm over here watching these videos? I saw them already. I saw all of these videos already. So guess what I'm doing? BAM! Getting them out of here. Stop playing with me. Let's go.
Twice before.
According to the owner, the suspects have robbed them 3 times before. One of the teens arrested and released.
Can't even believe if he was arrested and he was released.
So this dude done robbed them one time, got arrested, got released, came back with his friends and robbed him again. Check this out.
And how he dare he again?
Turned my back a little bit, that's when they pulled the gun out.
On June 14th, this downtown smoke shop robbed just before closing time.
Same kids, they robbed twice before.
According to the owner, the suspects have robbed them 3 times before. One of the teens arrested and released.
Can't even believe if he was arrested and he was released and how he dare he again come and rob with some more kids.
Over in West Baltimore, back on June 9th,
male body in the middle of the street.
Baltimore police say one of the robberies turning violent after a man was shot during a robbery. The uptick in robberies in the first part of the month comes as data shows other violent crimes like homicides and non-fatal shootings saw a decline in the same time period. But for the victims of those robberies,
they are not only playing or trying to rob snacks, they are clearly punching, assaulting, and robbing the people.
They understand the violence that comes along with the crime.
And all of them got the shiesties
I had
on.
almost just died, even though like maybe that's where that could have led.
Hi, I'm Vincent.
Personally, I wish that they ban the shiesty mask. They need to have something out where it's like, if you get caught with a mask, it should be the way it used to be. It should be the way it used to be. Come here. What do you got a mask on for? Get up against the wall. And every single time. Oh, what? I don't care about how many times they say, oh, you're singling us out. How are we going to single you out when you got a mask on your face and COVID's been gone? Ain't try to hear that crap. Get them up out of here. If you got a mask on, you shouldn't be able to go to any business, ride public transportation, or go into any public building. How about we start doing that? What y'all got for me? Welcome to Baltimore. Facts, Casey said. Says, Do they rob for the money or the kick? I think it's both. Mad Hatter says, I was in a gas station a few months ago and Shiesty walked in and saw me and walked out. Agreed. I don't agree. Ban Shiesties, I don't know. I never thought about that though. I do agree. I agree with that, Kingdom. I agree with it and I don't care if you don't. Especially on the ICE agents. What? I don't know about that, Chad C. You talking about taking it off of them. That was a good try right there. Baltimore is a junkie jungle. Somebody said Mark Dorfman. We already know about that. You want some cheap real estate? Going over to Baltimore. As soon as you turn the corner, you're going to have people like this. I'm talking about for 30, 40 minutes, but you're going to be like, what the hell going on around here? And look like Kensington. Keep on moving, y'all, because what we got this man that's been sentenced. What we got going on, he's been sentenced to life. And I'm really happy about this because what he did, I'm not even going to pronounce it because the circle will start going. That's how bad it is. And that's why he needs to be taken up off of here. And I'm glad that they handle him accordingly. Check this out, you guys. I'm so happy about this one right here. Woo, let's go. So all y'all talking about that, all that imping stuff, when y'all see me wearing purple jacket or a suit, do me a favor. If you cool with me, don't call me an imp, a pills imp. I don't look at that as a cool thing, especially when it comes down to stuff like this. Crazy,
An Atlanta man will spend the rest of his life behind bars after a jury found him guilty of sex trafficking a young Cobb County teen.
Fox 5's Kevin Stewart joins us live from Douglas County, where that crime, Kevin, took place.
Yeah, that's right. You know, this is a week-long trial that finally came to an end, and it is a clear reminder of how sobering it is that we could have something like this happen in our community. Take a listen.
Terrible.
This is where it all ended. An undercover sting in 2023 at the Quality Inn in Lithia Springs. Detectives found an online ad for the 15-year-old victim being sold for sex, a runaway from her Cobb County home. Deputies rescued the child from Talisa Anderson at the inn. Further investigation eventually led them to Ramirez Morris. Anderson pled guilty to trafficking, and a jury just found Morris guilty of trafficking. They had pimped out the child for 2 months.
They took the victim to get her hair done. They took her to get her nails done. They took her to get new clothes.
This all began at home for the girl, as in the apartment where she lived. Anderson worked in the leasing office.
He's the person that they would have to go to turn in their checks for rent.
The 15-year-old victim built a trust after confiding with Anderson about her troubles.
It became a recruiting tactic that they would use to try to recruit the victim into trafficking.
Connecting her with Anderson's boyfriend and pimp, Ramirez Morris.
What is commonly referred to as the bottom girl, someone in like Miss Anderson's position, someone who has already been working in the life, often being used as that kind of middleman to recruit.
ADA Hicks says this case can serve as a lesson to families.
Educate your children on what a trusted adult is. And then also, not just to families, but anybody in the community, when you see signs, to say something.
Now, Anderson was sentenced to 25 years in prison with the first 5 years to serve. Going live in Douglas County, Kevin Stewart, Fox 5 News.
Wow.
All right, anybody got a problem with a troll? From now on, just say their name, say their name. All you got to do is say their name, say their name. Because I don't got the time for it. Y'all really concentrating on them trolls? Do me a favor. Say their name, say their name. And when I warn them most of the time, they kick a rock for a block. So trolls, guess what? Once they say your name, you're leaving anyway. So you better get yours off. Go ahead and get it off right now. Because they're going to get you. And then I'm going to come in, bang, and you out of here. Because we ain't nowhere near the end of the show. And we're going to keep on moving. This is the part of the show where I ask you guys to go ahead and double tap that screen to get those likes up. Because we're trying to get as many people over here to know what's going on about our show. We got to go on over to Washington because we got your boy Jamie Raskin, who's at the Supreme Court, and he's talking about birthright citizenship and the ruling on it. Let's keep on moving, you guys. Let's keep on. All of this stuff is important. Everybody want to know about some part of this. Trust me, I get all sorts of messages, follow-ups. I know if it was me, I'd want to know about this because I want them to get out of here. I don't like what they're doing. And a whole bunch of people in the comments don't like me because of this. I do not believe in we're safe. Running with the baby to get over the, oh, we're safe, we can have the baby. I'm sorry. I know I'm going to lose a lot of people. I'm not with it. I'm just not.
citizenship case. Our next guest, Democratic Congressman Jamie Raskin, wrote on X, eager to soothe Trump's wounded ego, the Supreme Court ended nationwide injunctions. Trump is crowing, but this just means we'll take our smashing wins in 4 district courts and turn them into wins in 94 district courts. People born here are citizens, period. Ranking member on the House Judiciary Committee, Congressman Jamie Raskin, joins us now. Congressman, let's just start out with that tweet. Can you talk about your strategy?
Well, of course, this decision creates lots of problems for us in terms of other executive orders and other lawless actions of the administration. But in terms of the birthright citizenship case itself, we have won in 7 courts, 4 federal district courts, 2 with Republican judges, 1 Reagan and 1 Bush, 2 Democratic judges, 1 Obama and 1 Biden appointee. And then we won in 3 appeals courts. So we're batting 1,000 here on this case. The Reagan judge said this was blatantly unconstitutional. It was the most unconstitutional executive action he'd ever seen, and the easiest case he'd ever had to deal with in 4 decades on the bench, right? Which is why they're running away from the merits, the substance of this decision, and the court shamefully played along with a hide-and-go-seek strategy of saying, oh, well, there's a procedural problem, which is these district courts overstepped their equitable jurisdiction. And so they reinterpreted the Judiciary Act of 1789 to say for the first time that courts could not decide beyond the literal parties to the case. And of course, that defeats the whole idea of equitable jurisdiction. Equity means you fit the remedy to the nature of the constitutional violation. And here, the violation is one that applies obviously all across the country, which every judge has seen. But so they decided to hem in the courts. On that, we're going to look at class action lawsuits, nationwide class action, because of course the government is saying, oh, well, if there's a problem, just go with a nationwide class action. Watch them try and stop a class action and get the class decertified. Watch them challenge it on every ground. They don't want this case heard on the merits, and that's what's so shocking, that the Supreme Court would allow this to drag out when we've had birthright citizenship in America since 1868. But in terms of going forward, look, you know, there's different ways that you could.
We have birthright citizenship for the children of slaves, not people trying to run over here and say, I'm safe because I'm running across the border. I'm walking in what they was calling them marshes. They were just walking all over like this and looking at all of the American citizens on the news like this. We coming, we coming, we coming. And now y'all leaving like this. Get up out of here. And y'all expect us to feel bad for you? When you came over here, you got all the money, got the ATM, the money that you was getting for being a illegal immigrant. You got apartments and free wages and free places to stay. Y'all got free food stamps. Y'all was running around here talking bad about the veterans. How do I know? I seen you do it. I was in the train station when they was like, oh, you guys don't want to take the job, take the money. We're going to do it. We're going to kick you. We're going to take your place. Oh, yeah, you taking our place, all right. You're taking your place and getting your butt up out of here. And we're not worried about none of this crap. The real true people that are from here, don't try to scare us talking about, oh, they coming for y'all next. I'm sorry, I was born here. My footprint was stamped on American paper when I was born, baby. I ain't got to worry about that. And get my bags and meet me at the airport trying to act like you're going to shake us up to be part of it. Nope, we ain't going to be out there running around and doing all that nonsense that y'all got going on out there, because it ain't got nothing to do with our minority, if you really think about it. Y'all just trying to join on the bandwagon, just like the LGBTQXYZZL 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 11, and 417. All of y'all trying to join on. Let's go on and get with let's go on and get with them, because they've been fighting for hundreds of years, and now we're going to mill that down and make their efforts almost to nothing. You guys know what I'm talking about. I could be on this thing all day, but you know what I'd rather do? I will vote for Donald Trump. I will vote for Donald Trump. I will vote, yes, for Donald Trump. You remember that? I will vote for Donald Trump. But guess what? They ain't singing that song no more. Let's get on over to this video right here. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Remember this Cuban band that made their mark by making a song for Donald Trump, and they really was doing their thing a couple of months ago? Check this out.
Vote for Trump, let's go. Vote for Trump. I will vote for Donald Trump. Oh my God, I will vote. I will vote. I will vote for Donald Trump. The people go out to vote, no fear no more. Oh my God, I will vote. I will vote. I want it there.
Y'all remember that, right? Y'all remember it was turned up in the city, the country, the hood, man. They was even performing that song all over. They got it on SoundScan, they got it pumped, and now look at the same people, how they're feeling today.
A wave of disappointment. One of President Donald Trump's most loyal voting blocs, Cuban and Venezuelan immigrants. Now speaking out in Miami, a Republican stronghold, as the recent wave of deportations hits home and the Trump administration moved to end temporary legal status, or TPS, for more than 500,000 people who arrived during the Biden administration. Elena Conde says she came here from Cuba on humanitarian parole in 2023. Her husband, Ariel Lara, crossed the border with Mexico twice, once in 2019 when he was detained and deported, and then again in 2022. 6 weeks ago, he was taken into custody at his residency hearing.
So he was given an appointment to go to ICE. You told him before he left for that appointment, you don't have anything to worry about. You haven't done anything.
Instead, he was transferred to Texas, where we spoke to him from his detention center.
Ariel, ¿qué piensas sobre lo que está pasando ahora en este país, en este momento con respecto a las deportaciones? How do you feel about everything that's happening right now in this country with the deportations? You don't understand how this could happen. ¿Qué pensaba que iba a pasar cuando ganó Trump? What did you think was going to happen when Trump won? You're saying you believed the president when he said he was going to deport criminals.
Now, Elena is left behind with her daughter, 7-month-old son, and Ariel's 70-year-old grandmother, who has been a U.S. citizen for years.
So the crazy part about it is all of them are citizens, she's a citizen, and she's been citizens for years. My question is always, how come those other people that's doing all this other stuff, getting jobs, driving, licenses, and all of that stuff, how come y'all can't take care of your paperwork? A little bit of sweaty from the dance number, from the moves that I put on a little earlier. Hope you guys appreciate that. Do your boy a favor. Double tap that screen. Got a whole bunch of people mad at me on that one, but you know I don't really care because it was kind of funny to me. So I don't really care. It was funny to me. I just thought the whole situation was funny. Cause whatever. Cause if it was me, y'all be laughing too. So keep on moving, y'all. What y'all got for me? What y'all got for me? Anything over here? Nice, says Blast Phantom. We got Money Tree. I'm from CC. I'm from Miami. Don't let me catch you in the gas station, said Mad Hatter. How much of Mad Hatter must? Oh, y'all going at it. Y'all mad right now. Hey. Calm down. This is all content. It's all YouTube. It's not real. It's all fake. It's all fake news. Don't believe anything. Don't believe any of it. We got to keep on moving forward because we got these protesters that were lining the highway in Florida at the Everglades talking about they oppose the alligator Alcatraz, you guys. We talked about alligator Alcatraz the other day where they actually already built the prison in the Everglades. And now what they're doing is they have a lot of protesters out there right now that's basically giving pushback.
Developing protests in South Florida this weekend, all ahead of the opening of a controversial new detention center for illegal immigrants. The facility known as Alligator Alcatraz is set to officially begin operations tomorrow.
But many are not happy about it, and some have even taken the fight to court. News 6's Mark Lehman following the latest live for us in studio now, and this is in a very remote area, Mark.
Yeah, and I want to show you exactly what we're talking about here. The facility is using an old landing strip and training base right in the middle of the Everglades. As we zoom out here, you can see the thinking is if someone were to escape, they'd really have...
Is that notice that nobody was blocking the road. Nah, ain't nobody gonna block the road at Alligator Alcatraz in the Everglades.
Nowhere to go. But the whole thing is also facing pushback from everyone from immigration advocates to environmentalists.
We're here to show that we care about this land.
From the heart of the Everglades, crowds gathered over the weekend to protest construction of a detention center for illegal immigrants dubbed Alligator Alcatraz.
We're not going to just let this happen. Like, we're not going to back down and just kind of let them do whatever it is that they want.
The demonstration coming on the heels of a federal lawsuit filed on Friday.
Let who do what they want? The government? The government? How you gonna stop the government from doing something? Come on, man.
Coming on the heels of a federal lawsuit filed on Friday. The environmental groups behind it say the facility threatens ecologically sensitive areas. It's an argument that was brushed off by Governor.
Now they worry about the alligators and the snakes and the reptiles, y'all.
Ron DeSantis.
They're trying to use the Everglades as a pretext just for the fact that they oppose immigration enforcement. I mean, let's be clear. Like, that's where you are on the far left. Now they don't want the laws enforced at all.
Supporters say housing migrants there will ensure no one escapes because the surrounding area is marshland full of wildlife, but opponents are calling it political theater. The controversy growing after the Department of Homeland Security posted an AI-generated meme on social media that shows alligators representing immigration and customs enforcement agents outside the soon-to-be-built.
Doom, 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 doom. They're going to be outside like this. As soon as you try to escape, they're going to be like, ice alligators.
Detention center.
It's totally un-American. Yes, we know that this is a political stunt. We know this is meant to grab headlines.
Now, despite the opposition, the opening of Alligator Alcatraz is still set for tomorrow. There are reports that President Trump will be in attendance. The FAA has issued a VIP movement notification for Ochope, Florida, which is where the airport site is located.
Yeah, so
also developed.
So basically, there's an airport site that they turned into Alcatraz, Alligator Alcatraz. So put it like this: it's in the center of the Everglades. If you decide to escape, you got to deal with around the terrain and the alligators and all the snakes and everything else that goes along with it. Oh, the name is amazing, says King. And Natalie Georgievich says both sides play the game. Why did you skip him? I ain't skip him. That is the same. That is some funny shit. It definitely is. Those gators was put there for the government. The government. Okay, what else y'all got? Eric E. Will they have tours? ice gators. Matter of fact, let me ask you a question. Are y'all going to visit anybody on Alligator Alcatraz? Think about that. Imagine the conjugal visits and all of that. Alligator outside the door. Like, I ain't never coming over here to see you again, honey. You better get up out of here. I ain't coming out here no more. You're sweating bullets. You better have some good AC out there. The Everglades, you have any idea what that is? I mean, somebody must really love you. They coming to visit you in the Everglades. I'm telling you that right now. We got to keep on going forward right now because we got to go on over to Louisiana. Caught on camera, 18-wheeler slams into a bucket that had an employee inside. You know, like those cherry pickers. You got those construction guys that's fixing the lights on a roadway or something like that. I don't know why this fool trucker came through moving this fast. I would have been nervous just trying to, navigate myself through this area. There's not any talking or anything on this clip, but I want you guys to check out. You see, we got this man up here fixing this light right here, right? And basically, I'm gonna add this with an 18-wheeler, and y'all can basically get the rest of what's about to happen. Come on, let's go. No audio. Don't even worry about audio. Ain't none. Yeah. Y'all see that right there? Now, you could have navigated that a little bit better. You could have waited. You could have slowed down. You could have even gotten the other lane and took some of that space over there because you had the right to do that because they were there. But that turn that you did, you got away with the cab. The cab got away. But it was the tractor, the trailer that basically got caught up on that. As you guys can see, your boy is swinging upside down. I'll be honest with you. Pedro, Juan, and Rafael, also Santiago, y'all my boys. But I'm going to put it like this. I would have been up there like, my neck and my back. I would have been up there. Oh, you talking about milking that? I would have milked that. Got off work that day. Wouldn't have been back to work for 2 years. Don't even play with me. Oh, I'm hurt. No, I wouldn't have did that. I would have did that. But as you guys can see, and luckily we got a LAPD sheriff rider right there, pulls up on highway patrol. pulls up on the motorcycle, starts to take care of everything as your boy is still suspended in the air, safely in the harness, which is why they always tell you to wear your harness. He's actually okay. I'm just joking. He's gonna be fine. He got caught up in the harness. Worst case scenario, he's probably got a little bit shaken up. But I do think it was very smart of him to have that harness on, just changing that light bulb. Anytime you go up like that, you definitely need to make sure, let's get Corbin up out of here with a group assistance. Boom! Out of here, Corbin. Yeah. See ya. Hope you had a good time trolling. Hope you had a good morning, do ya? Hope we never see you again. Bye now. What y'all got for me up in these comments? Y'all got Boone truck could have raised the bucket if the truck waited a minute. Right. So ban Corbin, oh, he's been gone. Bye now. That we already did that. Liars everywhere. That's Jose or Carlos, my friend. Yeah, you know what? That could have been Jose or Carlos. You're right about that. Could have been Jose or Carlos. How about this though? What I do appreciate is this father right here that did not play at all. He wasn't having it. This father took his daughter on a Disney cruise ship, and they were up on the 4th deck. I think that they were playing, what do they call that, shuffleboard. And they weren't paying attention to the daughter, and she fell inside of the ocean off of a Disney cruise liner. I want to ask you guys a question. 4-year-old, 3-year-old on top of the deck, you the father up there, what you gonna do? That's right, I'm Mark Spitz. I'm jumping in that water for my daughter. And that's exactly what he did. He went right up in that water and got his baby girl. Check this out, y'all.
On board a Disney cruise ship.
And the father leaping into the ocean after his daughter suddenly goes overboard. And tonight we are seeing the remarkable rescue and hearing from a passenger who witnessed it all.
Let's get right to Local 10's Roy Ramos live at Port Everglades, where that ship returned earlier today. Roy?
Yeah, and that ship has just set sail again, but that witness I spoke with said she watched as that little girl fell overboard. Moments later, she watched as that father was searching through the water for her, fearing the worst would happen. But fortunately, rescue crews were able to pull them both out safely. A sigh of relief from a father moments after he and his daughter are rescued after going overboard the Disney Dream cruise ship Sunday.
Right there.
It seemed like it was going to be something that was just devastating, tragic.
Passenger Monica Shannon told me she and her family were taking pictures when she watched as the little girl fell from the 4th floor.
They were playing shuffleboard, which is actually right, so it was on the 4th floor. And I think like maybe the parents were playing, and then the little girl was climbing up on the railing and went and flew off.
In this piece of video, you can see the race to rescue as crews rushed to pull the two from the water and into a rescue boat. We learned the cruise was returning to Port Everglades in Fort Lauderdale following a 4-night cruise to the Bahamas when other passengers reported the child was first to fall in. That's when they say the father realized what happened, then jumped in after her.
She didn't know how to swim. And the dad couldn't find her at first.
While that ship is now docked and passengers have disembarked, it's investigators now trying to determine just how that child fell overboard. We reached out to Disney Cruise Lines, who issued this statement that read in part, "The crew aboard the Disney Dream swiftly rescued 2 guests from the water. We commend our crew members for their exceptional skills and prompt actions, which ensured the safe return of both guests to the ship within minutes." Following the frightening incident, it is this message Shannon had for other parents, especially when aboard a Disney cruise ship with their children.
You still are in the middle of the ocean, and there are still dangers, so just be so careful. Keep them close.
Keep them close. That message from a parent right there. Disney still has yet to say exactly how the two fell overboard. That now part of their investigation. As we gather more on this, we'll be sure to let you know. For now, in Fort Lauderdale, Roy Ramos, Local 10 News.
Good story
The family
right
is
there.
dreaming.
Good story right there. Love to hear fantastic things like that happening. And the father, he was not playing. I already know what I would have did. I'd have been like, phew, going in. I'm going in. Y'all would have went in too. Look at that. Y'all would have went up in there. We got Corbin up in who really trying to get his little niglet word out there, boy. But he keep getting banged every time. Poof, out of here. See ya. wouldn't want to be you. And y'all know what it is. If y'all trying to make some of that money, go on over to the link in the description and you guys go ahead and fill out some of those surveys. Y'all can make up into $750 today. Also, if y'all got a business, you might be a mobile barber, you might be a groomer, I don't know what you do. You even might be an auto detailer. Send me over your promotionals at bridgethisllc@gmail.com. This way I can put them up in the post notification area and almost all 35,000 people that we have are gonna be able to see you guys' information and all your promotions you got going on. Also, great time to go ahead and hit that like button if you appreciate the show. If you aren't already a member of the show, good time to become a member. Also, subscribe to the channel. Turn on post notifications by hitting that bell to let everybody know that you're going to be right over here and to let everybody know when we're going to be on. Also, that's right, you guys, this Thursday, I am back at 22 West Circle Drive at Valley Stream. That's right, we're going to be doing the Show Your Talent search right there. There we go. $250 is going to be given away in the Bronx, Manhattan, Brooklyn, Queens, and Staten Island. You guys know that, right? So when we get a winner, boom, you make $250. After you win, we all come together at one location in New York. And what do? One person wins $1,000. That's right. I'm going to be the host of that event, and it's sponsored by Big Drip. You guys want to be a part of the event? All you got to do is go over to www.drinkbigdrip.com, sign up in the join membership area. Make sure you're 21 and older, and that's all you got to do. It's your boy BOOGOTTINYC, and like I always tell you, y'all could have went anywhere. But the fact of the matter that you came here to chill with me, I appreciate you. I appreciate you. I appreciate you, King. We got this fool up in here that's still going crazy, but we don't care about that. We got Batty. We already good. You too, Rebecca. And guess what, you guys? I want to see you at this event, 22 West Circle Drive, Valley Stream. That's right, you guys. If you're in Queens or in the surrounding area, I want y'all to pull up on me. Also, next month, we're going to be in Throgs Neck. We're going to be with Dipset's member, Ruger Rell. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Hell Rell. He's going to be doing that event up there. And with that being said, you guys, y'all could have went anywhere. But the fact of the matter that you came here to chill with me, I appreciate you. So until tomorrow, y'all know what it is. I'll see you guys later. Get 'em! One. Peace. Yeah.